sit back and relax. You're listening to episode 274 of the Wealth Tech Today podcast. I'm your host, Craig Iskowitz, founder of Ezra Group Consulting. And this podcast features interviews, news, and analysis on the trends and best practices all around wealth management technology. And this is our January news roundup. And we are chock full of the latest wealth tech updates, including a bunch of AI news that you're really going to like. And we have two special guests who are going to be helping me with the news, but I'm going to keep their identity a secret and surprise you later on in the program. But here at Ezra Group, we work with many RIAs and broker-dealers that have launched their own white label tech platforms, and they integrate some of the most popular software on the market. But it's not easy. It takes a lot of planning, a lot of industry knowledge, and a lot of hands-on execution to deliver. Now, if you're leading a fast-growing RIA or broker-dealer and need advice on how to build your own tech platform that you can scale, you should run, not walk to our website, ezragroup.com, and hit the golden Contact Us button on the homepage. Our team of experts is ready to help you with any of your needs around software, vendor selection, operations, implementation, building workflows, business strategy, or more. To take your firm to the next level, work with Ezra Group today. All right, now a few housekeeping tasks. Please subscribe to this show wherever you listen to podcasts so you don't miss an episode. Check out our sponsors, the Invest in Others Charitable Foundation, which you can find at investinothers.org. And now, let's kick this thing off. All right, next up in the news, Cognicore, purveyor of AI to advisory firms, integrates a personalization engine. The company's proprietary AI Insights engine has been added to its Wealth Copilot to help deliver personalized advice. This is from wealthmanagement.com, and again, from my friend Davis Janowski. And to help me for this news segment, we have another good friend, Kristen Schmidt, founder and CEO of RIA Oasis. Hey, Kristen, what's going on?
Hi, how are you?
Terrific, terrific. So here we are. What are we talking about again? AI. We can't stop. It's
Yeah,
story after AI story. So what's your take on AI provider Cognicore announcing their proprietary insight engine? This is important. This is not that important. What's your take on it?
I think it could be important for the right firms. So I think that there's definitely value. Whenever any type of company is announcing AI, I think it's really important for RAs to think about what type of AI this is. And what I mean by that is this advice-driven AI or is this back office help AI? And what Cognicore has released is a little bit of both, right? Everything has a name. Everybody names all of their extra products. And sometimes that doesn't help us to understand all the pieces. So from the way that they break it down, and what we see in AI, when we talk about back office help, that often leads us to meeting notes and call routing, maybe even content creation, if you will. And that's all kind of in a back office sense. They also have a feature that they're offering for some type of, form creation, form filling, which I think can be helpful. This also has an element of what we call that AI-driven advice. And that's where I think firms really need to have a plan as to how they're going to use AI through their financial planning or advice-driven process. I don't know, Craig, would you agree that when AI lands into advice, advisors need to oversee that process instead of hand it off?
Yeah, it depends on what it's doing. For example,
Mm-hmm.
if you look at what Cognicore's offerings are, they had started out when we first met them a couple of years ago. They were launching and they had an AI-powered co-pilot. So it was helping out with custodial type of tasks like changing addresses, doing account opening,
Right,
checking.
more back office. Yeah.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
that's the first product they came out with. Then a year or two ago, they launched another AI copilot for advisors directly, not for the back office, but directly for advisors that kind of
Mm-hmm.
overlaid the CRM and would do summaries of clients based on call logs, meeting notes, emails, and things, and sort of give you an overview of a client before you had a meeting. And then they launched a meeting. Well, we've seen 100 of these products, meeting transcription tool. So it's
Meeting
got all
summary,
those things in
right.
one now.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you call that
Yeah.
product? Everything's sort of merging into the overall AI assistant, Microsoft Copilot-ish. We're everywhere doing everything for you.
Sure, sure. And I, as somebody who works in tech and implements it, but also implements best practice, there's a couple things here that I think can be really useful, but that RIs need to think about and also be prepared for. One is this wealthmanagement.com article, which I think was great. It has some keywords that best practice consultants like myself kind of it pings high interest. For example, one of the phrases in there says it interprets user intent.
Mm,
I wish I could interpret my client's intent and
mhm,
have that automatically generated for me, right?
mhm,
So, number one, if you want anything like this to be helpful to your business, you have to be using your tech all the time. You have to be committed to adopting it because, as we know, the more you feed artificial intelligence, the smarter it is based on your habits, based on it needing to learn your intention,
mhm,
right? And not only do you need to use it, but all your staff need to use it the same way. So I think the idea of what do you have to have in place before you can implement something like this? You must have full adoption, great data. God forbid this system starts reading data in your systems that is inaccurate or incomplete. You will start to get inaccurate or incomplete data from an AI generated tool.
mhm,
So it's very important. Number two, you had mentioned, some of the CRM pieces, and also they have in the past mentioned their workflow ability with AI. What it does, and what the article states, is that there's integrations that automates repetitive tasks and workflows. What that says to me is your workflows that are in the CRM can automatically be pushed forward or triggered, or we call that an if then situation, right? If this happens, I want this to automatically happen. And so what that means is firms need to know what repetitive tasks do you have for your clients, and are they in the CRM? And also, what workflows do you have, and are they built accurately in the system? So again, I think the tool is very helpful, but you have to have your all of your data ready and all of your best practices written before something like this can help. Lastly, where AI gets me a little nervous, I'll be completely honest, is when we talk about that AI-driven advice.
mhm,
So advisors, one core feature that advisors bring to the table as value is being able to plan for their clients. And a lot of times they are listening to all of their clients' feedback and their stories to
mhm,
learn how they need to plan. If you are entering that into the system, this type of AI can help you to figure out some of those planning details without you spending so much time. But if you're listening and not documenting your meetings and not putting it in a system, then the data's in your head and AI can't read your head just yet.
mhm.
You're trying, right?
Right.
So I think, and also, and I would love to get your feedback on this. AI driven advice is meant to be a tool that you then approve or deny,
Mm,
right? That you then work through. It maybe saved you time, but it is not intended to be directly given to the client without your oversight and
mhm.
without your approval. So it still means you need to build this into your process of if you have the tool and you're using it that way, make sure somebody's saying, oh, yes, I think that's the right choice for Kristen and her 5-year plan, instead of just letting the computers do it for you.
Yeah, the problem is I think we're going to see the computers doing more and more, and advisors either deferring to what the computer recommends, or at larger firms, the head of wealth management is going to say, here's what I want everyone to do. Whatever this screen says, that's what you do next. Because these systems are going to get smarter. Right now, they're still a little dumb when it comes to
Mhm.
client intentions and what's the
Yep.
best next action for an advisor to take. But once they start closing the loop on, hey, I recommended the advisor do this, and then this happened, which was positive for both the client and the firm, I'll make a note of that. Then every time I get this in real situation, I'll recommend the advisor do action X. Eventually, these tools for next best actions are going to become much more efficient and effective. And the advisors who are following the advice of a next best action tool will sell more, grab their wallet share, grab more wallet share, have higher net promoter scores in general. And once that happens, things are really going to change. I've been
I
advisors to
agree.
Uber drivers, whatever
I
the algorithm
agree.
tells me.
Yeah, there's some roadblocks in there that I see because I'm in the weeds operationally with these firms and with operation staff. Number one, what you should be doing versus what you can do with what you have is very different. So if you are supposed to complete a form, send it to Fidelity, but you're missing data in the system to fill out the form, you're stuck, right? So these tools are going to tell you by rule book or by fact versus reality what you should be doing. But whether or not it can be done relies on consistent and accurate data every single time. And we as advisors and RIAs and financial planners and operations people, we serve the client first and data always comes second.
Mhm.
And sometimes stuff gets missed. So I think we have some roadblocks there, definitely, of the second roadblock I see is as much as automation is great, a lot of advisors do not want to give up automation to the personal touch of calling a client, emailing a client, texting a client, whatever it might be. So, as much as we love the idea that we could automatically have a robot call somebody and confirm an appointment, and then have a computer book that appointment through Calendly and do all the things, 9 times out of 10, my firms say to me, I really want my front office people calling Mr. Smith
Mhm.
and saying happy birthday or making sure he's ready for the meeting and has all the things. So we still have a human element that we feel is necessary to connect with our clients and to keep them going strong. So it'll be interesting how AI really helps in that area.
I agree. And with this particular tool, it seems part of this is a little bit of marketing that they already had something like this and now they're sort of
Yes,
relaunching it. But it is
yes,
interesting to see how it's going to fit in to the CRM. And one of the goal of the CRM, every CRM vendor tells us they can automate the advisor's workflows. Now we have these AI tools saying, "Oh, don't look at those guys. We'll automate
no,
the workflows." Well, why
I
would I
know.
want you to do that versus I'm already in the CRM? So I see another battle brewing between these overlays, another form of CRM overlay, but these are AI overlays that want you to live in their environment and they'll build workflows and then use the CRM just as a database. Well, if I'm the CRM vendor, I don't want that. You're disintermediating me.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that battle that you're talking about is at a very unique time because these AI tools cannot do everything your staff needs to do.
Mhm,
So, how does it create efficiencies? And how does that change your staffing needs?
mhm,
And I'm just going to be human here for a second without trying to be negative. How
mhm,
much do we trust them?
mhm,
Do we trust them enough to let our full-time front office person go to part-time because we trust the computer? We still have vendors we're struggling to trust with,
mhm,
portfolio management and reconciliation and
mhm.
billing and such. So you're right. I think it's got a long way to go. I love that advisors are willing to use it. Right now, it takes more time and it costs you more to use these tools. But if you're open to it, you can start to fit them in, and then you can also start to learn them, and so can your staff. And I think that's very valuable.
I also expect to see almost every vendor, whether it's portfolio management, CRM, financial
Yes,
planning, reporting, billing,
yes,
prospecting, digital marketing, everyone is plugging in as fast as they can, building out some sort of AI tool. Even if it's just straight generative AI, simple LLM plug
yep,
into OpenAI, or it's more advanced machine learning and predictive analytics. We did a
correct. As
story
as
earlier.
an example, Wealthbox has already done that. So it was already released in beta. Very simple, as you mentioned, generative AI tool in their reporting section. So in the reporting section, if you subscribe and you're part of the beta, their AI tool, you can type just what type of report you want, and it will build that report for you instead of having to use the traditional operand type of reporting where you move the fields back and forth and do the and or scenarios. It's very simple, but very helpful. And for those who don't like building it allows you to have interpretive reports built based on your technology AI. So yeah, it has already started. WealthBox kicked it off a couple of months ago. Again, just in the reports area, but you're absolutely right. All that's going to grow.
If you're looking for more information about the company in our story just now, Cognicor, they are at Cognicor, COGNICOR.com. Kristen, thanks for helping me out with the story.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And our next story, LPL announces an AI suite, but it's mostly embedded AI in existing tools. This is from LPL's own website. Financial advisors are facing increasing demands for personalized client service while also struggling with time constraints. Industry studies have shown that a significant number of advisors feel they lack enough time for client interactions. This has led to a need for technology that automates tasks, improves efficiency, and enhances the client experience. Now, as we all know, if you've been listening to the Wealth Tech Today podcast, we've had LPL executives on many times, and they've have been talking about exploring ways to streamline operations, generate data insights, and personalize advisor experience. So AI is certainly a great way to do that. And LPL has also been focused on how to reduce friction for their advisors and make the experience smarter, while emphasizing that any technology they implement should empower advisors and not replace them. Of course, LPL is known for their advisor platform called ClientWorks. And this move, launching an AI suite, appears to be part of their ongoing efforts to provide advisors with the best available technology that integrate with ClientWorks. So the news is LPL has launched their AI Advisor Solutions, which is a curated program of AI-powered tools designed to boost advisor productivity, personalize client interactions, and provide more sophisticated financial advice. This initial rollout includes 4 AI vendor solutions, including Jump, which is an AI note-taking tool, transcription tool with generative AI for generating meeting agendas, notes, and updating CRM. Microsoft 365 Copilot, which is Microsoft's AI tool that they're going to be plugging into basically the entire Office suite and everywhere they can. So we're going to be seeing that really all over. FMG Mobile, now FMG, formerly called FMG Suite, is a digital marketing platform, and they've launched an AI-powered social media assistant, which we've also seen from other digital marketing tools. And macro research firm FactSet has launched a transcription assistant to automatically transcribe earnings calls for advisors and provide summaries for guidance, key themes, and research. So an interesting collection of tools for this first version of their AI suite. Christy Edling Day, EVP and CIO at LPL, said, "What makes AI so transformative is that it embodies the essence of innovation, solving a known problem in a new way. And the big problem for financial advisors is time. That's why vetting solutions across a variety of scenarios has been a priority at LPL, so we can help advisors balance time-saving AI solutions with compliance and regulatory risk management." Now, of course, we've talked a number of times about the way LPL handles third-party vendors integrating into their platform. We've had numerous executives on, as I mentioned, talking about their vendor vetting process, and they have a very specific process how they do that. And there's currently, I don't know what the number is, it's over 100, a lot of applications that have been approved for use by their advisors. There's a lot of work you have to go through to get through compliance, you get through their technology teams and cybersecurity teams to be able to be offered on the LPL platform. Now, every application has different levels of integrations with ClientWorks, from just SSO to more embedded technology. This is the LPL Affinity program, where they have different levels of support. You can read, there's an article, I'll put a link in the show notes to an article that talks about the LPL Affinity program. So we've seen a lot of these tools coming out, and we're expecting more broker-dealers to launch these types of suites of tools, combining different applications together in various ways. Now, we don't know how well these are integrated. It doesn't tell us how much integration there is into ClientWorks. Although, as another quote here in the article from Gary Karai, Chief Product Officer at LPL, As AI capabilities develop, we expect functionality to extend beyond the back office to nearly all applications across wealth management. And at LPL, we are excited to help our advisors implement AI to run thriving businesses. Makes a lot of sense. We all want to do that. So I would expect a lot more applications to be plugged into these different AI suites and offered to advisors as packages. We're doing the same thing here at Ezra Group, offering different packages to firms and making recommendations of different packages of applications that we feel work well together. You can check them out on our Ezra Group Wealth Tech Integration Score if you want to know how well some of these applications integrate with other tools in the advisor tech space. So for more information about LPL Financial, you can go to lpl.com. All right, our next story. Boosted.ai, building agentic AI for wealth managers, raises $15 million. And to help me talk about this news is my good friend, founder and CEO of SoftLab 360, Henry Zelkowski. Henry, glad you can make it,
Hey,
man.
Craig. It's good to be here. Thank you for inviting me. It's a good day
Well,
to have a new conversation.
I'm glad you're here. This is good. Well, whenever it's an AI story, my first instinct is to call you and say, what do you think? Because you guys at SoftLab have built so many AI systems. I thought you would be great for this story.
Thank you. We are interested in AI. We have been in it for 10 years in a variety of earlier segments of AI. And yes, I'm very interested in what we have been doing and where we can go further. And boosted AI is a good topic to look at.
So Boosted says they started with institutions, hedge funds, and sovereign funds before they moved into the wealth space. They've got this funding, $15 million, brings them up to $60 million in total funding. And they built their own machine learning algorithms for use at hedge funds and other institutions. Now they're applying it to an analysis of investments. So we got a demo, you and I, of this. So so coming from your point of view, you've got way more hands-on experience in AI than I do. What did you think when you saw the demo?
I like the demo actually very much. It's very conclusive for, let's say, for me, when I saw it, to get a sense of where they're going and what has been done. And it's a good enhancement from where the industry may have been in the last 5 years, for example. The product, what we've seen a demo of a UI, what the user experience would be if I were any of the audiences that they service. And the benefit that I see right away is that they quantify and calibrate in machine learning sense a great deal of investment data, analysis reports, analytics data, market data, reference data. And they do this as a preparation. Their backend, in technology terms, use is calibrating quite a bit of data on the ongoing basis, but they qualify the data with their understanding what kind of audience would be able to use that data that they prepare,
Mhm.
pre-calibrate, and machine learn from,
Mhm.
in what generative AI meaning that can be used, and
So
using UI experience. Yeah.
let me jump in. So they talk about agentic AI, and they describe it as employing sophisticated reasoning and iterative planning to autonomously solve complex multi-step problems. Do you agree with that definition, and how do you see it helping with investment analytics?
I do see that concept, especially because in the agentic AI, they're going to be able already and advising ongoingly how to build agents using AI mentality, where each agent in AI sense would be looking at specific context, let's say hedge fund industry or hedge fund models might be targeting with a particular agent to address that line of business. And asset managers would be focused on slightly different context in evaluating data. And they would be independently different agents. But the machine learning backend supplying content and context generation to these agents might be common ground. Okay, there is really, I would make a case that the current market exposure, market is a market. It has pricing, it has reference data, it has opinions. What people use it for relevant to their investment strategy is different. So they have opportunity to have a common ground in the product, but agents are custom made, purposely built to a solution. On their website, they've got solution briefs, by the way, that actually very formulated to a context of audiences.
Let me jump in
And
again, Henry. So looking at the demo, they allow an advisor or portfolio manager to create agents that are running all the time.
Yes.
So they're constantly analyzing the market and analyzing what's going on. So how is that better than saying just using OpenAI and saying, tell me about what's going on with Apple?
Well, their agent, in the context of a UI, that a person using it can formulate its own conversation of the person interest or their own topic, that might become an agent relevant to this person or to this group of people. And I would generally think that that's not an individual person searching out for information. That's a directional focus of doing analysis using research assistant like technology to formulate points of interest and domain of interest. And using the criteria of prompt generation in a way, a person sitting in front of the UI would be asking questions of this, let's call that computer, that's going to be formulating reply prompt answers, prompt answers. The benefit that they stated is that they use two different LLM models to build a context of interest for the person in front of the screen. Okay. And they use a third LLM independent of the other two to validate. So this way they eliminate hallucinations. And
But how
another
does that work?
benefit,
Why wouldn't more LLMs just create more hallucinations?
they could, but what they stated, and I think this is accurate from the structural perspective, is that they when they start formulating context, they do not, and they called it a workflow. So if I'm sitting, I'm a user of that nature, I start building my points of interest. I speak in to discover information. I'm prompting rather to uncover information that I'm looking for. That builds a workflow of my interest, and the workflow in this case relates to the prompt answer, right? In a typical chat GPT-like model, every time you ask the same question or similar question, almost the same in phrase terms, the LLM typically of ChatGPT is going to likely give you a different answer, slightly different answer, might be quite a different answer. The point of the traditional LLMs is that they do not return the same answer every time. This company is pointing out that they freeze their term is freezing the workflow, which means they
Right.
expect to return the same answer. But the more you ask, the more you elaborate phrase one, expand it to phrase two, and therefore
Right.
they keep adding more context to the same perspective. So you're
So rather
building
than
your own book of
instead of getting a different answer, you're just refining
You're
to get a better
refining and
answer.
adding, yes, refining, adding, and possibly getting more tabular data, more graph data, more contextual data. So it gives you more and more sort of
Right.
feeling that this is getting heavier and better.
So they believe that this is more of a workflow tool for equity research, portfolio monitoring, idea generation. So that and that's their target audience for this tool. And they claim they have 150,000 data sources, which seems like a lot, but it's also news sources, company filings, S&P Global, things like that. So they're bringing all that into, I guess, a big data lake, pushing that through their large language models, and then as portfolio managers and equity researchers are setting up their agents, it's feeding those on a daily basis.
Yes, that is my understanding, and I think that would be an accurate interpretation of what value they represent to the community.
So do you see this as a trend that will more investment analytics tools, investment data analytics tools start using LLMs to generate ideas?
I think that this particular way, the way they describe in the doing the boosted AI direction, is I see it beneficial to formulate private expansion of ideas in the private context of the user, wherever the user is of their product, sitting in front of the
So
user interface.
they showed it on the demo that you could set up an agent to say, well, find, for example, biotech companies that mention they have a tech breakthrough, and then it'll pull out just those companies and then give you a summary of what the breakthrough was.
That's a good start of something like that because the phrase itself implies I'm looking for a new direction. I'm starting to think if I'm as an investment person might be inclined to put my book of business in that direction. I'm trying to do my homework, my research. And the phrase like that would be the opening line. And I think you can build your own agent to seek more, complement more, to support that idea. And eventually, your initial phrase, think of that as a topic for discussion, is going to become almost like a white paper of analysis to yourself.
Right. But you've done this research, but you've done similar research for other companies, but more on the trading side. So you're looking at millions of trades and looking for patterns. So do you see those two types of machine learning, predictive analytics as being complementary?
I do see this complementary because looking at the structured data, which trades might be like, and looking for patterns in that sense, and adding opinions and an independent point of view of what trades in the same time frame could have been, why they could have been made, denomination of trades would formulate a bigger opinion. Why, if these trades represent a strategic direction for a group of people, should these group of people be offered a directional change in investment strategy? I think this would certainly extend what we've been doing for a while. And this also adds a context. This adds a conversational context because investment advisor would be using a tool like that to formulate a conversation, offering a representation of a strategy, build a strategy.
So one thing I find with a lot of these tools is they expect the user, to be prompt engineers, right? As most, because everything's a chat
Yeah.
interface. So you've got to know
Yes.
what to ask the system. Whereas most people, you and I we've got degrees in computer science. We kind of understand the logical, how you write code, even if it's writing code in English, right? So a prompt is a form of code where you're trying to ask the computer to do something for you. So most people don't necessarily lend themselves to being able to understand how to do that in a way that's going to, run their business. So do you see the prompt as the front end going away and the systems knowing more about how to deliver that to you, or do you think prompt are always going to be available?
I think prompt is going to be available, but I think the term prompt, it has a certain connotation, is probably going to change. I think of the prompt in the context of Boost AI, and what we are doing is more of I'm opening a conversation. It doesn't matter how I'm speaking to a computer, Boosted AI, or I'm speaking to you and we're having a discussion. I'm opening a line of questions, opening line of interest. And this is a professional territory, right? So this is not just a loose conversation. I am forming something that I want to get an answer to, and my phrases that I'm looking for to answer are calibrated to my business. Okay, so I wouldn't think of that as a prompt. I'm thinking it's a discussion. Okay, and the product is going to be sort of virtually saying, speaking to me, and I'm speaking back to him, and it's a feedback loop that is building up a context of my agent. I'm doing it for me, and I can share my agent perhaps with you if we're now joining forces and build some common strategy.
There are some other competitors out there that do something similar to Boosted.ai. There's a company called AlphaSense at alpha-sense.com, and there's a company called Perplexity. They're perplexity.ai, and they both have very similar, it's like they both pitch themselves as helping portfolio managers and equity researchers and doing their due diligence. So unlocking critical insights on companies, you're finding out, being able to generate research reports on different topics. So this seems to be the future of where we're kind of headed here. And looking at the map that Michael Kitces and I work on, which you can find at kitces.com, there's almost 50 applications in the investment data analytics space. Do you see that consolidating or everyone's just going to launch these kind of AI tools at the same time?
I think this is the time where people try a different angle to come to the same enhancement value. Right now, we're in the area where these new technologies, new products can offer introductory use to investment managers, asset managers. Those audiences are not technology. They could be technology savvy, but they're not technologists to invent a new product in that case. So presenting them with variety of options is a good opportunity. I think that people are going to be more knowledgeable and choose which one of those is more relevant to the way they reason, more relevant to the way they speak of their own interest. And I can maybe draw comparison to today. There are a number of analytics products in the wealth management, number of portfolio management products in investment management. They all kind of targeting the portfolio management, and this is a ages-old business. But there are different angles in how people manage portfolios, right? And some products are better than others. And I think this industry is going to go the same way. What I like about Boosted AI, when we've seen it in the demo, is the opportunity to build private agent in the private workflow, but it's a very professionally oriented agents. Okay, this is not a loose conversation. It's a very targeted conversation. The person will originate, and what they call a workflow in the agent, I think, is useful because to a degree it relates to what industry has been pre-AI. The investment the process of investment research that led to investment strategies is a workflow-like product. Even using the term to connect what
Yeah.
people used to do up until now is a good idea.
Yeah, I think the workflows that I think the difference of the boosted AI from what I can see versus their competitors is they've got these pre-built workflows. So I see that as the
Yeah.
future, that they're moving away from the chat interface and more towards these pre-built workflows where you're launching these agents and launching things behind the scenes that are working for you, but you've got some structure around it that relates to the industry. You can't just have, like, I saw some of these tools, it's just looks like a chat GPT interface. That's all it is. They may have built some stuff but in the background to train the LLM, but there's no front end really. So I think I like Boosted.ai's front end. I like that they've got some workflow built in. They have an API. So if you want to build it yourself or just use them as an engine and plug it into something you're building, they can do that. And they've got some voice interaction capabilities that they say are coming this year, which I think could be really big for people who don't like typing. You want to be able to just talk to your AI. That's really a very futuristic where you say, hey, I'm interested in plastic manufacturers. Can you do some research for me? And it just goes and does it. That I see being something very useful where you can just sort of chat with with your voice to these tools. So I see these as really consolidating the market for investment analytics, and everyone's going to have to offer these types of AI-based tools.
I agree, and I think that the proof of value in the ongoing sense is going to be in the conversational reply from a product to a person, in the sense that they can actually guide investment strategy formulation, and that would be hallucination less and less. So let's call them free. Direction is to be free of hallucinations. To a degree that we can achieve that, it's always going to be hallucinated to some degree, right? Because this is not quite exact in sorts. This is in many cases it's probabilistic AI, but I think in the way that they're going about it, that they're going to have over time deterministic conclusions, and that actually gives more repetitive use. And I think that's a good thing in a workflow sense.
Thanks for your comments on this, Henry. If anyone wants more information, you can find it at boosted.ai. And continuing with the AI stories, Range raises $28 million in Series B funding for AI-enabled human financial advice. This is from wealthmanagement.com. Range, a direct-to-consumer wealth management platform, has raised another $20 million in funding. If I'm not mistaken, we used to call this a robo-advisor, direct-to-consumer wealth management platform. This round, a Series B, follows the startup's $12 million Series A raise in May of 2023. That first go-round was led by Google's AI-focused venture fund, Gradient Ventures. It invested again in this round, but this round was led by venture capital firm Cafe Innovation. Terms of the deal weren't disclosed, but Range now has raised $40 million in total funding to date. The company touts the development of a new AI engine called Rai, or Ray, R-A-I, which can provide superior advice 10 to 20 times faster and save their members 75% to 90% more in fees than traditional wealth advisors, according to their statement. By and large, the wealth management industry hasn't changed as more than 75 years, wrote Simon Wu, partner of Cafe Innovation, in this week's announcement, which noted he also joined Range's board of directors. Now, that's not true. Come on, 75 years hasn't changed. I can think of a couple changes off the top of my head in the last 75 years. The company states it now has more than 1,000 high net worth clients who collectively have $3 billion in assets, although on their latest Form ADV, which was filed in March, lists only 27 million in AUM and 9 financial advisors. So how are they doing this? It's an all-in-one wealth management solution co-founded by Fahad Hassan and David Kusadis in 2021. According to the website, it connects every aspect of wealth management, including tax filing, estate planning, retirement planning, insurance, investments, plus their in-house financial advisors optimize each member's portfolio. Okay, so this is not a robo-advisor. They've got advisors in the back end. This is just an app, an online RIA, which is going through an app for their client distribution. Range uses a transparent, flat free pricing model rather than taking a percentage of clients' wealth. Okay, fair enough. It works by taking it takes the questions the clients or prospects have for advisors, other forms of structures, or other forms of structured and unstructured data, and then feeding that into machine learning algorithms or applying generative AI to the process. Okay, well, everyone will be doing that eventually. While there are no investment minimums, Range charges $4,800 for an annual platinum membership, which is that's 600 per quarter. Yeah, 600 per quarter times 4 is 2,400 at 4,800. Oh, if you want a premium membership, it's 600 per quarter or 2,400 for an annual premium membership with no free trial. Why is there no free trial? According to their website, we make an investment in our members to give them an exceptional service experience from day one. So this seems very much like Facet Wealth, where they've got advisors in the background, but they interact all with their customers through their app or through the website. So another one of these out. They got $40 million to play with. Let's see what they come up with. You can learn more about this company at range.com, range.com. How'd they get that? That must have cost them a pretty penny. And continuing our trend with AI stories, Smarsh is building an AI intelligent agent for compliance. Once complete and available, the intelligent agent should help relieve the burden of manual communications review on compliance officers. This is again from Davis Janowski from wealthmanagement.com. Smarsh has announced the development of an AI-powered intelligent agent, which will begin selling as an add-on product to be fully integrated with its enterprise conduct surveillance platform this year. The company is a major provider of digital communications, content capture, archiving, supervision, and e-discovery within the brokerage and RIA industries. The Smarsh Intelligent Agent will emulate the expertise of compliance analysts to help surface only the most relevant communications for risk review, and it's designed to work on all forms of communications, assuming you're using a platform like Smarsh that ingests and standardizes content, wrote Brandon Carl, EVP of AI and Product Strategy at Smarsh. It's being built by their in-house team and in partnership with financial services firms that are working with them on the design, he wrote. Now, the intelligent agent will integrate with Smarsh's communications intelligence platform, relying on advanced large language models fed with historical alert patterns and human analyst decisions to make determinations or escalate alerts generated by the platform. This is where the future of a lot of effort when it comes to compliance, reporting, and other areas where there was a lot of human interaction and human analysis required. The AI is just going to be able to do it much faster and more accurately, especially when it comes to any kind of analysis that we're doing. So compliance is such an area of growth for AI. Well, I expect to see a lot of these compliance platforms launching AI tools besides just Smarsh. Now, Smarsh is taking this intelligent agent, as I said, putting it into their intelligence platform, which they launched in November 2021, or at least the latest generation of their communications intelligence platform they launched in 2021. It was built for firms in regulated industries like wealth management and meant to provide for all their electronic communications, capture, archiving, and oversight. This platform will allow them to deliver more AI-powered and cloud-based tools so they can analyze communications at scale. Now, one thing that's interesting is the number of communication channels that they have to cover. According to Smarsh, they currently cover 80 communications channels, including email, workstream collaboration platforms like Microsoft Teams, mobile, social, and audio. So we're also trying to capture these at Ezra Group on the Wealth Tech Integration Score, realizing that if we're going to be scoring the integrations of applications like Smarsh, which is in the communications archiving category, then we're also going to have to capture all the communication applications that they're covering, whether it's WhatsApp or RingCentral or other tools. Microsoft Teams, of course, need to be also captured so they can say, well, we now integrate with these. Now, if you go to EzraGroup.com and go to the Wealth Tech Integration Score page, you can see under Communications Archiving that Smarsh is number one in terms of our integration score. They have a 6.23, which makes them the number one application when it comes to integrations in the communications archiving category. Smarsh has also been a major player in M&A the past few years, having acquired a number of firms let's see. So in 2021, they did a lift out of the digital safe archiving and risk management product line from large multinational software firm Micro Focus for $375 million. And they also, their Entrada subsidiary announced that it was acquiring Priva, a cyber risk assessment firm. Entrada itself was acquired in May of 2020. Also in 2020, Smarsh acquired pioneering AI technology firm Digital Reasoning. I thought that was interesting because that helped them build their own in-house natural language processing and machine learning technology into their platform for analyzing both written and spoken communication data. So they now own their own underlying technology, which can only be a good thing. Legacy email archiving and surveillance solutions simply weren't built to handle the petabyte scale of disparate data created by organizations today, said Smarsh, I always say Smarsh, Chief Product Officer Gautam Nadella. Now, it should also, this new technology that they're launching, this AI agent, should be able to proactively screen out less relevant communications before they need review as well. So you're only focusing on the most relevant information and not getting covered with, not getting buried in non-relevant stuff. So this AI agent is meant to emulate the expertise of experienced compliance professionals who often spend an inordinate amount of time screening communications manually. Now, according to data compiled by Smarsh's customer feedback, their compliance teams spend up to 80% of their time sifting through noise to find real risks while reviewing firms' communication data. So this intelligent agent, when it's available, is going to be first in beta in early 2025 with general availability sometime later this year. The final cost is pending. Now, in July, the company announced it was among 8 e-discovery and data loss prevention companies selected by OpenAI to integrate with it as part of that firm's first compliance partnership program. Pretty smart, since they see compliance as a huge opportunity as well. The integration with OpenAI was meant to simplify the process of syncing ChatGPT enterprise data in support of compliance-related activities. And this is really where firms are seeing their growth and seeing the availability and ability to handle large amounts of data is on ChatGPT's enterprise data rail. And I imagine the other LLM platforms, whether it's Google or Anthropic, will also offer enterprise versions, which have specific functionality, including archiving, audit trails, data redaction and retention, policy enforcement. So that means the clients using the ChatGPT enterprise version could sync their data easily with Smarsh's compliance tools, which would be pretty handy. Smarsh is claiming their intelligent agent product is another industry first. Not so sure about that, but they certainly were one of the first to introduce machine learning to communication surveillance almost a decade ago. Other firsts claimed by Smarsh include introduction of transcription-powered voice surveillance, model governance, multilingual detection capabilities, and productized AI, among others. You can find more information about Smarsh at smarsh, SMARSH.com. Next up, Envestnet taps tech veteran Chris Todd as new CEO. Envestnet embarks on a new chapter with Chris Todd at the helm. I put a post about this on LinkedIn, which you can check out. It's also on wealthmanagement.com. And Envestnet, which is a leading provider of wealth tech software and outsourced investment services, has appointed Chris Todd as their new CEO. This marks a significant milestone for Envestnet as it transitions to a new era under private equity ownership following Bain Capital's $4.5 billion acquisition. Todd is taking over from Jim Fox, who served as interim CEO after Bill Crager, one of the co-founders, stepped down in March 2024. Crager, I should have read a little further, who co-founded Envestnet with Judd Bergman in 1999, led the company through a period of significant growth, culminating in its IPO in 2010 and subsequent expansion into the #1 provider of software and outsourced services. They should also say that Laurie Hardwick was one of the co-founders as well. Left it out from the story there. Todd brings nearly 2 decades of experience, although almost none of it in financial services. Most recently serving as CEO of UKG, which stands for Ultimate Kronos Group. At UKG, privately held software firm specializing in human capital management and workforce management solutions. Todd had a strong track record of driving growth and fostering a client-centric culture. He successfully led the merger between Ultimate Software and Kronos in 2020 that created UKG, which became one of the world's largest cloud software companies. Now, Todd's experience with mergers and navigating complex platform integrations could be highly valuable to Envestnet as the firm enters this new phase. The company has a history of growth through acquisitions, and Todd's leadership will be crucial in ensuring a continued smooth transition and maximizing the value of the many integrations they've had to go through. And that has been a bit of a knock on Envestnet, especially from some big clients, talking about the many acquisitions the firm has made and some not quite as well integrated as others. So that's definitely on Todd's list, I would hope. One of the key relationships Todd will need to navigate is Envestnet's long-standing partnership with Fidelity. Fidelity is not only a major client of Envestnet, but also a minority investor in the company following the Bain Capital acquisition. Fidelity has been actively expanding its managed account offerings through platforms like FMAX, which is built on top of Envestnet's technology. Maintaining a strong and collaborative relationship with Fidelity will be crucial for Envestnet's continued success. Most notably, Todd also managed some large-scale layoffs at UKG, implementing a 10% reduction last year, which was about 2,200 employees. This experience could be relevant as Bain may look to push Envestnet to streamline operations and drive down costs. The clock is ticking. I'm interested to see how Todd will leverage his experience to lead Envestnet through this evolving landscape. And I was fortunate enough to meet Chris this past week at the FSI conference. So appreciate the Envestnet people connecting us so we could meet. I'm sure I'll be talking to him a lot more in the future as we have common clients. And also Envestnet has been a customer of Ezra Group in the past for product strategy and roadmap planning. The wealth management technology sector has become more competitive with companies like Orion and InvestCloud announcing new product offerings and new logo wins after going through their own CEO transition. So a bit of a complicated environment. Todd's success will depend on his ability to execute on Bain's plan, which I would guess includes driving innovation, continuing to deliver on the evolving needs of financial advisors, and capitalizing on Envestnet's strengths while navigating the complexities of its legacy tech stack and critical partnerships. You can find out more about Envestnet at envestnet.com. Now we're up to my favorite part of the news, the Advisor Tech Map and the Wealth Tech Integration Score section. This month, we've got 7 new applications being added to the Keats's Ezra Group Advisor Tech Map, which you can find at keatses.com. First one is VI Wealth, and it's VI4 Wealth. An interesting name. And this company is a performance reporting platform. They also have a lot of visual tools to help advisors understand different results and different reporting. They're really pushing their mobile solutions. If you look at their website, they've got pictures on iPads and such. So they've built out an interesting offering, which is currently a plugin for Tamarac. So it's only for Tamarac customers, Envestnet Tamarac, and it integrates with Tamarac and enables Tamarac clients to get visualizations of performance reporting and other types of reporting, which I guess they believe is better than the standard Tamarac reporting. You can learn more about them at VI4, so it's VI4wealth.com. Next up is Wealth Team Work. This is going in the family office portal category, and that's a new one. So we had client portal, and I think Michael and I agreed that we had enough client portals that were targeting family offices that were creating a separate category, a subcategory of client portals called family office portals, because they do operate slightly differently than a portal for a normal RIA. Usually the family office portals have more high net worth type of functionality. Oftentimes there's a hierarchy, a family hierarchy, and other information there, because usually these larger families need to track all that information. They often have the ability to store information about the different family members, healthcare information, insurance information, and other types of things, and a lot of contact details stored. They offer different communication tools, a lot more communication between the advisors and their clients through family office portals, and more heavy document management capabilities and collaboration capabilities. So that's Wealth Teamwork, and it's spelled exactly as it sounds, wealthteamwork.com. Next up is FlexTract, FlexTract, FlexTract.com, and they are client data gathering tool. They call themselves your all-in-one solution for automated data extraction. So you can get using some machine learning and natural language processing to take documents, usually PDFs or others, and sucking them in and then extracting the data from them. So this is going in the client data gathering category, flextract.com. Next is Paradino, Paradino, which is going in the ever more crowded client meeting support category, because Paradino is an AI note taker for financial advisors, because we need more. An AI note taker that summarizes any meetings to any of your templates, unlimited use. So we've already got 14 of these. Now, this is the 15th application going in the client meeting support category. And just for anybody listening, if you're thinking of building a new application, launching a startup, it's going to be tough if you're thinking that client meeting support, AI note taker is a great way to go. There's so many applications. Oh, $149 a month. And you better look at your pricing too. That's going to be tough to sell. Well, if you want to learn more about Paradino, paradino.ai is their website. Next up in a less crowded category, Agio, A-G-I-O, agio.com, managed service providers. They're offering managed IT and cybersecurity for financial services firms. Pretty straightforward. We like these types of firms, especially, but there's a wide range of functionality and services you can get from these companies. You can really lock down your entire environment where nothing can get done, meaning everything's on a whitelist. So nobody in your company can get to any website unless it's specifically authorized. Or you can dial it back and just put a blacklist out or a blocked list saying they can get anything you want as long as it's not on the blocked list. And you can give people in firm different capabilities to install software or not install software on endpoints. There's a lot you can do in terms of levels of locking down your environment. So that's Agio under managed service providers. Then we have Track Insight, spelled just as it sounds. The word insight.com. And this is going in investment data analytics, which is the most crowded category of all. Investment data analytics has 48 applications, now 49 with Track Insight. On their website, their pitch line is the industry's global platform for ETF data and fund selection. So it looks like they got a lot of interesting capabilities here, specialized tools and services, a lot of ETF data, a lot of good stuff. So if you want more information about them, trackinsight.com. Here's an application in an area that's not overwhelmed and too crowded. It's Riser, R-I-S-R, no E, RISR.com, or Riser. I'm guessing they pronounce it Riser. And this is in the business valuation category, which I think more advisors should take advantage of. Being someone who owns a business, we had to do a business valuation. That was one aspect of my advisor's relationship that I appreciated, that they had that capability in-house. So for smaller advisory firms, you can use Riser, and it can help to give evaluations for your clients who are business owners. I don't know what they charge. Let's see pricing. So the pricing at Riser, per advisor, $350 a month for a single user. For a entire advisory firm, it's $15,000 a year for 5 users. And that gives you the ability to analyze your clients' businesses, show growth opportunities, valuations, do a risk assessment, looking for buy-sell opportunities. Seems pretty robust. So I would check these guys out. You're always looking for advisory firms should be looking for ways to provide more value to their clients, and business owners are great clients to have because at some point there's going to be a liquidity event and you get to be the beneficiary of that if you can build a good relationship. So check out Risr, RISR.com for more information. Is that the end? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That was 7 applications. Okay. Just might be interested in this. There were 2 applications that didn't get in that submitted, but wanted to be on the map, but we didn't let them on because they weren't software. The Keatsis Ezra Group map is designed to only show logos of software providers for independent advisors. If you're not software, not selling software for independent advisors, you're not going to get on the map. Not that you're not offering a valuable service or a product, it's just that this particular map is for software. So one company called Your Cyber Life, yourcyber.life is the website, is client education about cybersecurity, which Michael and I both thought was an interesting service. Their advisors can pay to be able to deliver educational content to their clients about cybersecurity. And that can only be a beneficial thing because most end users don't really have a clue about cybersecurity. So giving advisors giving that opportunity to them is useful, but it's not software. It's educational content. So not going on the map, but you should check them out at yourcyber.life. And then we took off an application called Unblue. It was in the AI assistance category. The reason being they're primarily in the banking space. That's really what they're looking for. They're selling to enterprise banks, not even small banks, really big ones. So that's not targeting the independent advisory space, even though it is software. So we took them off. So you'll see them, they're missing from the AI assistance category. Just to give you an overview, on the Keatsis Advisor Tech map, there are 570 applications currently. As I mentioned earlier, investment data analytics, 48 is the biggest category, followed closely by portfolio management at 33 and digital marketing at 31. Now, on the Ezra Group side, we have all those applications in our database for integration scores, but we actually have supersets. We have more. We're currently tracking 598 applications because we do support enterprise applications. So whereas the Keatsis Ezra Group map is only independent advisory tools, our database at Ezra Group is all applications, including those for enterprises, because that's our core audience. Our core client segments are enterprise wealth management firms. So we're tracking 598 applications and growing at 533 vendors. The median integration score of those applications is 4.49. And we've reviewed 2,714 total integrations across 64 categories. Now, if you're a vendor of software for financial advisors and wealth management, whether independent advisors or enterprise, you should, and if you've got a good score, first of all, you should be building out integrations in order to get, just to serve your clients better. But the better your integrations, the better your wealth tech integration score will be. And if your score is 6 or above, you are eligible to join the Wealth Tech Integration Score Recognition Program. And what that enables you to do, for one part of it is you get a badge from Ezra Group that you can then put on your website, on any marketing materials, any emails, anywhere you want, that verifies that we have validated your integrations as either excellent or superior, depending if you've got a score of 6 to 8 or 8 to 10. And you also get a lot of other benefits. One is access to private research. We have private research webinars every quarter. You get some meetings with our integration team, which can help you understand which integrations you should be working on or improving, and what maybe some of your competitors are working on. And you also get discounts if you sign up for consulting with Ezra Group, such as competitive analysis, pricing analysis, partnership analysis, go-to-market strategies for wealth tech vendors. So please go to ezragroup.com and click on the golden Contact Us button if you want to learn more about the Wealth Tech Integration Score Recognition Program. And that's about it. You've reached the end of another episode of Wealth Tech Today podcast. Thanks for listening. But before I go, as I mentioned, go to our website, ezragroup.com, and scroll to the bottom of the homepage and sign up for our newsletter. Once a month, you'll receive an email chock full of wealth management goodness, news, information, and updates. You will not be disappointed. Thanks again for listening, and talk to you all again next time.